hear me? Can you hear me now, guys? Now you should be able to hear me. Let me know if the audio is good now. Let me know. Test. Your voice is not coming. No sound. Can't hear. Yes. Okay, great, guys. Everybody can hear me. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Everybody can hear me loud and clear now once again. Okay, guys, so fantastic. I was just saying a very good morning, afternoon, or evening where everybody is from. I still see some people saying no audio, but I think there's a lot more people saying that it's actually working. So welcome back to the stream, guys. My name is Fabio, and thank you for taking the time to tune in here, back with another daily market update, seeing where the market is most likely going to be heading next, and what the potential interesting opportunities are for today and for tomorrow. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make myself nice and small so you can actually see what is going on my screen, and we can dive into the market. So as everybody can see, obviously EuroUSD has started to push in towards the downside. Now, as you know, I always wait for confirmation, and we are currently getting that confirmation. So this is finally the moment to start looking for some potential EuroUSD shorts. At this point in time, I'm waiting now for the overall daily candle closure and for us to confirm that we have these two imbalanced candles as our area of supply. Okay, so this is currently kind of like the supply zone that I'm eyeing up. This is a supply zone due to the fact that there are two 50% body candlesticks, which are then going to be engulfed by the current bearish candlestick, and that would then for myself confirm that this is my area of supply. Like overall it's the buy up, obviously, before the sell down. That's going to be our area of supply, and the overall order flow is currently shifting. Okay, so I see some people are saying that the background music is a little bit too loud. I'll put it a little bit lower and it should be fine once again. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, and we'll just continue. So overall EuroUSD obviously is now shifting on the daily fractal, and what I'm now waiting for is to see how this daily candle close will play out. I want to see a nice and strong daily candle close, preferably underneath this fractal low, underneath the black line. That will yield us the highest probability for potential for the downside once again. Okay, so this is now the potential short. What's the matter, guys? Is the audio still shit or no? Fucking hell. Yeah, it's the wrong audio, guys. I'm just fixing, guys, one sec. Yo guys, okay, so now the audio should finally be fine again. Can everybody hear me now loud and clear? Let me know, guys, in the chat if the audio is better now. It should be. Okay, good, guys. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm a trader, not an audio bloody engineer. Yeah, fucking hell. Sorry for my language, by the way, but that's just me being me. So, okay, fantastic. Now the audio is good again. So let's dive in back on to your voice is now high pitched. Bloody hell, man. What is going on? Let me check. I'm going to open the stream on my phone so I kind of can understand what the issue is. I can
Guys, I have no idea how this is happening. Let me see. Bloody hell. This is very annoying. MacBook Pro, iPhone, Yeti stereo. Okay. Delete. What? It's now good or no? Let me delete it otherwise. But now it should be good. Yeah, I think now it's fine, guys. Okay, better. Okay, oh good. Okay, we're good to start again. I think it was maybe the background or the audio of my computer. I think that was the problem. But regardless, now we're good to go again. So we're finally going to dive into the market and see actually what is going on, and we can finally focus on what really matters, which are the charts. So EuroUSD currently waiting for the daily candle close, looking to get into a potential short tomorrow, back in on that daily area of supply. I'll be keeping an eye open for the 4-hour time frame. At this point in time, we're obviously forming some 4-hour supply zones inside of that daily supply zone. We have the 4-hour supply zone inside here. So this is now the 4-hour supply zone, right? So the buy up for the strong sell down. So I'll now be waiting for that nice pullback and then looking for a potential further downside push. Okay, so that's what I'm currently looking for on EuroUSD. And guys, what is the issue now? Sounds like wind is blowing without audio enhancement. Seems like a girl's talking. Yeah, I think that's Thomas talking, guys. Yeah, that's Thomas talking in the background, guys. Okay, fine. Now we can finally bloody fucking start. Good. Okay, so now looking at EuroUSD, obviously we're now forming an area of 4-hour supply. Got my eyes open for that 4-hour supply zone to look for potential short opportunity. That lies inside the overall daily fractal supply as well. This is a nice area of supply due to the fact that it took out liquidity here to the left. Liquidity in the sense that this is a little bump in the road on the way down. Those are always nice areas of supply to look for. So I mean, yeah, now that we're being patient, patience pays off. So now let's see if we can get into a potential shorting opportunity on EuroUSD. Yeah, potentially on this somewhere, let's say either tomorrow or on Monday. Personally, I'm not going to set this limit just yet. I'm going to be waiting for at least today's candle closure. I want to see like how today's daily candle closes. If it closes strong bearish, then I definitely see some more shorting opportunities, and I'll keep an eye open for this potential short opportunity. For the rest, I'll be looking at as well what the dollar is going to do, because the dollar is currently at a resistance level. So we've been at these levels before. That's why I'm waiting for today's daily candle closure to confirm that this is actually going to kind of like break out and that we're going to see a strong candle close in towards the upside. So let's wait. Obviously, and I mentioned this morning in the daily market outlook, here we have a liquidity low over here, and here we also had a liquidity low, right? So there's no real difference between these two lows. Both lows are actually pretty interesting. However, the difference is that we're now actually waiting for confirmation instead of just buying, right? Because back in the days, if you were just to buy from that liquidity low and you buy on the very first bullish candle, you look, for example, here on what could it be? Let's say the 1 hour time frame, right? So you look here on the 1 hour. And you, for example, say, okay, hey, I'm going to be buying here on these bullish candles, or I'm going to be buying here on these bullish candles because I expect a pullback. That's obviously not the way to go. So we're now just waiting for support to really be formed and for that confirmation that we're actually ready to push back up higher, because if there is going to be a pullback, there's still a lot of room, for example, all the way back up in towards this supply zone. Now, we don't need to pull back up all the way into that supply zone, obviously, because if momentum is high, like momentum has been high in towards the downside, it could also just like pull back to here, provide us with the 4-hour change of character, and then just keep on selling off again, because the market can sell off at any random moment in time. So how do you then understand when or where or what random moment the market is going to start pulling back? Well, I look here on the 4-hour time frame, and then on the 4-hour I go, for example, into, let's say, this imbalance candle over here. I go into this buy before the sell over here, and I go into this buy before the sell over here on the dollar. I look at these zones and then I understand, okay, when the market pushes up higher, and let's say it comes in towards here, it provides us with like a double 4-hour change of character, then I'll be happy to look for shorts once again, and it won't retrace all the way back up in towards that daily area of supply, which is all the way over here, right? So that's what I'm looking for on the dollar index overall. Still looking for a potential further impulse in towards the highs, but it will be kind of like monitored very aggressively because I'm still expecting further bearishness from the dollar. So I think EuroUSD is like, okay, it's a fine short, but I'm not going to try and milk this out all the way back in towards the lows. For me, this EuroUSD short would definitely be more like a short-term position, like a 1 to 2 whatsoever. And definitely also monitor how we react to, for example, this low over here, okay? So that's what I'm going to be looking for on euro dollar. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Always appreciated. I'm also going to be looking at the other major dollar pairs, which are, of course, AU, NU. So AU is obviously pushing in towards the downside. Perfectly fine. Still very, very happy with what I'm seeing here. At the moment, AU is just consolidating. It's kind of like stuck here. Yes, it is still bullish on the weekly time frame, right? So we're still inside this weekly demand zone, and the overall weekly fractal structure is still bullish from this low in towards this high. So we're just pulling back down in towards the 0.5 fib over here. Let me just retrace this back into premium versus discount in towards 0.5 fib over here. That's kind of like where I'm looking to get into potential longs once again. So I'll be monitoring what the 4-hour does, and then on the 4-hour time frame, what I'll be doing is just keeping an eye on, for example, this candlestick over here, or even this candlestick over here. And what I'm going to do is keep an eye on these two equal lows. So for example, we take out those lows, and then I'll just look for the 4-hour change of character, maybe like a double fractal break, and then we just get in on the order flow back in towards the upside. So that's what I'm looking for in AU. Obviously, the current order flow is bearish, right? So we're reacting to supply zones, and supply is currently in control. So you're an idiot if you're trying to buy this. So we need to wait. Sorry if you're buying this. I don't mean like you're really idiot, but like from a trading perspective, it's not very smart to just randomly start buying here or wherever or here, because at the time supply was always still in control, and that's what pushed the market down lower. Simple order flow and market structure. So we're just waiting now for a shift in the overall market structure to confirm that we're going to get a potential reversal. So that's what I have my eyes open for on AU. Looking at GU, we can see that GBPUSD is still fractal bullish as opposed to Euro. So if you are looking for those dollar longs, I would say go for EuroUSD instead of GBPUSD, because your GBPUSD is still fractal bullish between this low over here and this high over here. And we are still inside the overall daily sell before the buy. So it doesn't make sense to look for shorting opportunities on GBPUSD just yet, okay? So if you are looking for a short on GU, you need to wait at least for this low to go, and then you can look for a short opportunity in towards the downside. Because again, yes, the overall market structure is still ascending and corrective, but you've just taken out these two equal lows, which could cause a reversal back in towards the highs. So do keep that in mind. But if we do see that daily order flow break and that daily sell before the buy break, right? So we see a candle close over here. Yes, then we form an area of supply on the buy before the sell like this. And then we can start looking for a potential short position, something like this, back down to, for example, this area of demand over here. But it doesn't make sense to get in on a sell opportunity right now. Because why? Because demand is still in control. The buyers are still in control. So yeah, again, very, very common sense. Looking at NZDUSD, NZDUSD has made a nice retracement in towards the downside. It's currently inside daily demand. It's also inside weekly demand. So I have my eyes open for potential longs on NU still. Yeah, still got my eyes open for potential longs on NU. I'll be keeping an eye open though for what the lower time frame does, being the 4-hour. Not really going any lower than that. At the moment, we have this daily area of demand. So this daily consolidation, that is currently what could push the market up higher. But then again, it could push the market up higher. So how do we understand that it will push the market up higher? Well, we wait again for the order flow shift. So look here at the 4-hour time frame, and then we just simply wait. And with waiting, I mean we wait for the fractal structure shift to occur, right? So what do we need to start seeing? We need to start seeing, for example, liquidity grab and then tap into this sell before the buy as a demand. and then we wait for the 4-hour structural shift, and we wait for the order flow to shift bullish once again, because for now supply is still in control, and that is what's pushing the market down lower. So that's what I'm waiting for on NZDUSD. Going into GBPAUD, I see somebody asking about that. GBPAUD was looking for shorts. We obviously had a break of structure over here. So we broke market structure. This is then our low over here, and this is then our high over here. We had a daily fractal structure shift with the daily fractal high here and then the daily fractal low. This then becomes our area of supply, the buy before the sell, and then I was looking for a potential shorting opportunity from there. However, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour remained bullish and didn't really provide us with any opportunity. We can see here, sell before the buy, here again, sell before the buy, and then again here, sell before the buy, still in control. So we can see that the overall order flow just remained bullish in towards the upside, and what you should then do is wait for the market to shift, show its hand, show that it wants to actually push down lower, and you could have done that by waiting for this order block to break. Then this buy before the sell would have been your supply, and then you could have gotten into a short opportunity. For the rest, yeah, I mean, longs are now kind of okay, but GA is a little bit of a tricky one. It's already pretty overextended. It's made a massive move. We had today interest rate decisions on the pound. Interest rates remained unchanged. On the 26th of March, that is when we have massive news for the pound, where we're going to be talking about budgets, and that is going to cause a lot of pressure on the pound, in my opinion. So I would wait with taking in some new positions. For now, the overall fractal structure is bullish from this low over here. So yeah, I mean, longs obviously still make sense with the overall fractal structure being bullish, and yeah, that is pretty much that. Let's see what else, guys. What else? EuroUSD will break. Only God knows. It's not a very smart question to ask, guys. You can't know if it's going to break a level. All you can do is just follow what price is doing. Bro, you seem exhausted this week. You fine? Yes, I am. I'm very good. Thank you, brother. Just a long days. A lot of stuff to do. A lot of reading to do. And a lot of trading to do. Let's see. What else, guys? What else? Update me with what we're looking for. USD Swiss. In the meantime, guys, make sure to... in the meantime, guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Also, make sure to drop the link to Discord here in the chat, so you can join Academy. You can join the Discord there and ask some questions if you have. Gold, guys, I got a lot of questions because I removed gold from the daily market update. I mean, I can keep updating gold, but gold is bullish. Like, what you want me to say, like, you can just keep on buying it. There's no like real analysis behind it besides just following the overall trend up higher and looking for more buys. We're now inside demand, so yeah, I mean, again, buys make sense. So now you just need the lower time frame to align again. For now, what we need to see here is that this supply zone over here gets broken, because this is now the supply zone that is in control. So here we liquidate the high, buy before the sell in control, buy before the sell in control, and you can see it pushes the market down lower again. So if you are looking for longs on this, wait for that supply zone to get broken, this one over here, and then wait for this fractal high to break, because if we now push up higher, then the sell before the buy becomes demand, and then you can look for longs like that. What else? USDCAD, looking for longs. No, I'm actually looking for USDCAD shorts. Not very interested in USDCAD longs at the moment. Overall, USDCAD is still in its consolidative phase. Overall, looking, yeah, for a short position, pretty much from this supply zone over here. Looking at the 4-hour time frame as well. Yeah, just looking for short positions. Overall, technical analysis on USDCAD doesn't really make any sense just because of the consolidative nature. So pretty much what you want to be doing is just sticking to the support and resistance extremes. What you can pretty much just do is, again, look at kind of like the range high. I'm not going to draw it all the way up here, but it's more like this wick over here. And what you can do is kind of stick to the extremes. So again, just look to sell pretty much from that 75% zone, or just a little bit below it. Or if you want to get into a short, maybe place your stop loss safe enough. But looking for some USD CAD shorts myself. USD yen. So USD yen pushed down lower. yesterday. Looking overall still at further downside. What we're seeing here on UJ is that the overall fractal structure for now remains bearish. What I want you guys to understand is that this is currently the protected high. This is currently the week low. We've retraced all the way back up into premium. So it does still look good for further downside. However, if we start breaking here this black line, then I'll start looking for long positions once again. For now, the decisional area of supply is this buy before the sell that we have over here. So keep an eye on that buy before the sell as your area of supply. It's not a very strong area of supply. Why? Because there's no liquidity in the overall move down. What do I mean with liquidity? Well, when we see a push in towards the downside, you preferably want to see liquidation occur, because otherwise the zone itself is very likely going to get liquidated. A good example would, for example, be, let's say, well, let's see if we have a good example here on the charts. Yeah, well, I mean, it could be, for example, this supply zone over here where we have a buy before the sell as your supply zone. And then what happens, there's no liquidity in the overall push down. So what happens, the supply zone itself gets liquidated. So that's kind of like similar to what I see often happen in these scenarios with these kind of supply zones. They're not very strong. However, what is nice is that the supply zone itself grabbed liquidity above this previous high, which is always nice to see. So let's just wait and see what price does when it retraces in towards there. If we get like a lower time frame trend shift, then you could look for potential shorting opportunity. Furthermore, we can have a look at Euro AUD shorts. I see some of you are looking at that. Looking at the daily time frame here, it is, in my opinion, not a very interesting pair. Overall, very heavily overextended in towards the highs, but it is still very, very bullish. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, also no real clear market structure, in the sense that all it's pretty much done is just push up higher and higher. It grabbed liquidity underneath this low, and it's now pushing up again. For now, demanding control. Yeah, I mean, this is what I call a very, 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 very ugly, ugly piece of price action. Not a big fan myself. I would personally stay out. I think there are some more interesting pairs that you could look at the moment, mainly being AUD Swiss, and we have some. Mainly being AUD Swiss. So for AUD Swiss, guys, I'm looking at a further upside push for AU. What I'm looking at on this pair here on the weekly time frame is the fact that we're pretty much at the lows, and the weekly lows, which we've pretty much been holding since August of 2023. So this is like in the past 1.5 years, this has pretty much been your area of support. Looking for a price to rebound a bit higher again. We had Swiss interest rate decisions, guys, on Forex Factory. You can see here that the Swiss National Bank eases monetary policy and lowers SNB policy rate to 0.25. So this means that, guys, the the Swiss National Bank has reduced interest rates to the lowest, as we can see here on the left. Okay, so what happens when a central bank lowers interest rates? Mainly or mostly, it means that the currency pair itself becomes less interesting to invest in, and it weakens a bit. Switzerland is a big exporting economy. They export like high maintenance industrial equipment. They export chocolate. They export watches. So they have a good, let's say, benefit from the Swiss franc being a little bit weaker. And we can see, that the interest rate in Switzerland is 0.25. In Australia, it's 4.10. So I'm pretty interested in looking for a rebound on the Swiss to push up higher. Overall, what we have here on the daily time frame on AUD Swiss is a daily fractal bullish. So here we had a low break. Here we had a high break, and now this here is my fractal low. This here is my fractal high. We've made a nice retracement in towards discount prices. So I'm now looking for further upside, from a discount in towards the highs. So that's what I'm looking for mainly. I'm also looking at CAD Swiss itself. Guys, gold. I already discussed gold. Gold looking for longs, as simple as that. Looking at CAD Swiss as well, very, very interesting in my opinion for a potential long opportunity. Overall, what I can say here is that if we look at what's happened is that we've liquidated this low over here. We straight away see a reversal, and I'm now looking for a rebound on this pair a little bit up higher. It still has a lot of room to push up from current prices, at least another 50 pips. Around 1% increase, but I'm looking actually to push it up a little bit higher, even more than that. Yes, we do have supply currently in control, so the safest is or would be to wait at least for that high to go and then look for some more upside, but I'm actually already interested in getting involved with some potential longs on this pair, especially once we see this high over here go on the 4-hour time frame. For the rest, there's no real clear areas of supply, a lot of descending highs, so looking to target like these equal highs over here and see a push higher very, very soon on CAD Swiss. Also from a fundamental perspective, I'm looking at CAD Swiss to gain some strength. I think the Swiss franc is going to devalue a lot more in the upcoming weeks, so I'm looking for some further upside on CAD Swiss as well. Regarding the GP Swiss, not very interested in trading this at the moment. For myself, it's still bullish. Overall, one of the ugliest pairs in the market, in my opinion, GP Swiss. But yeah, I mean, we have kind of like the sub for the buy over here, which is still in control. So it makes sense to push up higher still. The overall market structure is still bullish, sub for the buy. And then once again, we have another sub for the buy over here, also still in control. So the bulls are in control and GP Swiss longs still make sense. Let's see, we have someone spamming the chat again, always so much fun. Fabio, what's your time frame for executions? Mainly the 4-hour time frame. Mainly the 4-hour time frame. Let's see what else, guys. What else? In the meantime, don't forget to leave a like, guys. We can get at least 300 likes, would be appreciated. Swiss yen, looking for some further downside actually from Swiss yen. Overall here on the weekly time frame, what did it do? The overall weekly, let me see, this low here is 866, this low here is 878, so the weekly is a little bit messy. Like, the thing with Swiss yen at the moment is that there's a lot of uncertainty. The Swiss is not strong. Like, I would favor longs on this pair at the moment, with us now retracing into these two imbalance candles and look for some further upside. But overall, the Swiss franc is, it's not strong. So I would preferably want to stay out of Swiss yen at the moment. Not something that I'm really interested in trading. At this point in time. Not something that I would be wanting to trade at this time, no. I would be looking at CAD Swiss and Aussie Swiss more over than Swiss yen. USD Swiss, I think USD Swiss saw a nice impulse in towards the upside. A very, very nice overall liquidity sweep here on the lows. Looking here at the daily, it is obviously still inside of a daily area of demand over here. These two imbalance candles. The Swiss franc again is weak at the moment, so I would be looking as well for some further upside at this point in time here on dollar Swiss. Looking good, and at the moment we have a nice 4-hour demand zone over here, which caused the liquidation of this wick over here. Therefore, this is a nice and strong area of demand. So if you're looking for more longs, I would definitely say look for more longs into this supply zone from this demand zone. How can you conclude a pair is not good enough or clean to analyze? Very simply saying you just look at the market structure, and then you also look at the basic fundamentals of that pair. AUD NZD is a pair I would not trade. I would definitely focus a little bit more, guys, on the major dollar pairs at the moment, and potentially also on the weakness of the Swiss franc at the moment, due to those interest rate decisions, and also from what I've seen from the speech that they hosted afterwards. For the pound is going to have some very interesting budget decisions next week. So I would wait for that to happen before really getting into more pound positions at the moment. For GBPAUD, I'm looking for further shorts, but it is not very good to trade at the moment. Any view on GJ and Euro Yen? So looking at GJ, guys, still interested in further upside potentially, but it's going to be dependent on data. The thing is, at the moment, we have so much data coming out on these pairs that is causing a lot of consolidative price action. At the moment, yes, we have an interesting area of demand over here on GJ. It's following the overall order flow very nicely, actually, to be honest. We have like sell before the buy, sell before the buy, sell, and maybe another buy in towards the highs. I would still like to see these highs get taken out. So yeah, GJ still makes sense to look for further longs. But then again, it will depend on the fact if we see those further interest rate hikes in Japan. But you need to keep an eye on what UERAD is saying, the governor of the Japanese central bank, because he said that those rate hikes will depend on tariffs. And then we have tariff news coming out at the beginning of April. And it also depends on some financial data, which is still coming out. So that could invalidate the entire technical analysis. But overall, it is looking good for further upside still, in my opinion. Please, how can I understand this strategy better? Simply look up on the channel the educational playlist. There's a lot of information inside there that will help you. We'll have a look at the indices, guys. Let's have a look at German 40. So German 40, guys, is bullish. Still looking for further upside on this. We have the imbalances over here, which we've now tapped into. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we also took nicely the lows over here. Today we've seen a nice drop in towards the lows. Preferably, I would see a overall. The thing is here, there's not a very clear reversal pattern. Also not on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, no, I don't see any opportunities on German 40. What I would need is like a 1-hour fractal structure shift. So one more low swipe, then this becomes a high, and then we could look for a long position once again. So maybe, yeah, if we see a deeper retracement more into this area of consolidation, then I could look for long position. But for here, I don't see any opportunities. We can have a look, guys. Please don't spam the chat. Really no need. Let's see. German 40 is nothing. US 30, we can have a look because I know a lot of you want to see that as well. So US 30 itself is pushing higher again. So US 30 had a very, very big increase yesterday. And the reason for that was because of... Let me go back to the 4-hour. The reason for that was because Powell, in his speech, so Powell, guys, is the head of the Federal Reserve. So he's kind of like the head of the central bank in the United States. And he mentioned that there is no fear for a recession at the moment, which caused a lot of, again, positivity for stocks and for crypto. So at this point in time, I'm seeing a bullish order flow here on US 30. So we can see every single time the sell before the buy is being held. So I would be looking for further upside on US 30, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it, Euphoria. I'm a little bit tired, but we have to keep going. Yeah, looking for more upside on US 30. Yeah, we already had a look at EuroUSD and GU, so we can have a look. But EuroUSD overall needs a strong bearish daily candle close, and then I'll be looking for a potential shorting opportunity. So this short is not a short I would take yet. I would wait for to see how today the New York session performs. Do we get a strong daily bearish candle close, and then tomorrow or Monday, then I'll be looking for a shorting opportunity based on the 4-hour and the 1-hour price action. Do we then get that fractal structure shift inside of that area of supply inside supply, and that would be a good potential short. Aussie yen is looking good for longs, in my opinion. I'm looking for some further upside from Aussie yen. It's currently inside this area of daily demand, so this sell for the buy here, and I'm now looking at the lower time frame, being the 4-hour and the 1-hour, to see if we get any shift in momentum. For now, we saw here the change of character. This is now your demand zone, so you could look for some more upside from this. So keep an eye. It seems like AUD is getting a little bit of strength back. Let's have a look at GA real quick. Yeah, so GA swiped the highs. Aussie Swiss should be pushing. Yeah, so Aussie Swiss is starting to push. So if you're interested in Aussie Swiss, guys, like myself, then look for a high break over here, because this is currently the supply zone that is in control. And then look to get involved with this long position. This is currently a long position that I'm looking to take myself with my stop loss here and targeting some more highs on AUD Swiss. now with those interest rate decisions. The market is currently overreacting to news today that came in from Australia. So we had this morning the Australian numbers come out. Let me quickly check exactly before I say something wrong. So we had employment change. So we can see that the employment change was worse than expected, much worse than expected, minus 52k, whilst the forecast was 30k. This caused an overreaction from the market and for weakness on the Australian dollar. However, the Australian Central Bank was swift to comment that they are not going to be lowering interest rates despite the labor market not performing well. So this is a key piece of information which will help you understand that despite the numbers coming out red, there is still potential for further strength on the Australian dollar, and that's why I'm looking for a shift here on the 4-hour time frame to then go long in towards the upside on AUD Swiss. So my main plays at the moment are AUD Swiss and CAD Swiss longs. CAD Swiss has now broken the fractal high, so I'm now interested in getting involved with this demand zone and further longing this in towards the upside. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. Euro NZD. Euro NZD is one of those pairs that's like it's like a little beast, you know, like it's ugly and nobody should touch it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, guys, with Euro at the moment is very unpredictable. I am not really looking to get involved with Euro NZD. Euro NZD is bullish, like on the weekly, it's bullish on the daily, it's bullish on the 4-hour. Yeah, what I would say is just follow for now the trend up higher, but it's not a very clear position in my opinion. But I would only be focusing on a little bit more upside from this. But for myself, the main focus is Aussie Swiss and CAD Swiss, guys. And Aussie Yen is also nice for potential longs. Yeah, in towards the highs. But in my opinion, CAD Swiss and Aussie Swiss are a little bit more clear. And USD CAD making its move from weekly supply. Yeah. So, yeah, USD CAD, I'm still interested in a deeper correction. We saw a weekly fractal structure shift. So this weekly supply zone is the overall supply that is in control. And yeah, I'm interested in further shorts on USD CAD. The only issue is like, where is it going to drop from? But I am interested in looking for a further sell-off because USD CAD is lagging, guys, lagging behind USD Swiss, lagging behind USD Yen. Like if you look at where USD CAD is now, it's been here already since December. And if we look at USD, let's say CHF, and we look at where it was trading back in December, you can see that it was trading somewhere over here. Like it's made a far larger move in towards the downside. So for me, USD CAD is lagging behind, guys. Yeah, so let's see what else. No no metals. Yeah, silver, I'm looking for longs, guys. Gold, I understand a lot of you trade gold, but like personally, I don't really see the sense of it in the sense that, well, maybe there is a lot of sense to it because you just keep on buying. So gold, you just keep on buying. There's no like real analysis to it. It's kind of like crypto. And if we look at silver, what can I say on this? It's also bullish. Personally looking for further upside still. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we're now inside a 4-hour order block over here. And I'm now looking for a potential overall order flow shift. So what is now the overall order flow, right? So this is now your fractal high. So I would want to see one more push down and then something like this, form a demand zone, and then look for a long position. So maybe on Monday, that would be a nice potential position that we could get involved with. So yeah, those are the positions that I'm looking at, guys. I'm not feeling very well today, so I'm going to log off for the day. I hope I was able to inform you guys in these 45 minutes on kind of like the key setups that I'm looking at. I'm going to head off and yeah, we'll speak very soon. Thank you all for joining. As always, don't forget to leave a like. And yeah, next week, Tuesday, that's when the next live stream is going to be here on the channel. So hope to see you all back there again. And then we'll dive further into those positions which I mentioned today, being Aussie Swiss, CAD Swiss, and yeah, also potential shorts on, for example, GBPAUD. So thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll speak next week. Thank you.